Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a bit different from my usual content because I wanted to talk about something that happened recently. If you don't already know, LOONA are currently on their first world tour, LOONA the World, and for the past couple of weeks now, they've been touring the United States of America. And though they've gotten through all of their scheduled stops on the tour so far, for a lot of different reasons, it's definitely been a rocky road for them. From some of the venues being less than optimal, to a few select concert goers making a lot of other people uncomfortable, a lot of factors that the LOONA members themselves could not control have caused this tour to stir a lot of controversy online. And recently, all this drama seems to have come to a climax when member Kim Lip actually ended up walking off stage during their concert in Chicago. And due to some posts made online by the members themselves, as well as just statements by people who have attended these concerts so far, it's pretty much confirmed that this was caused by the people who were attending the concert. I really wanted to talk about this in a video because I actually attended LOONA's concert in San Francisco where a really similar thing happened there, so I thought that with my first-hand experience of how these concerts have gone so far, I would be able to bring a helpful perspective to the table. This video is going to be separated into different chapters, and in each section I'm going to explain a different thing that happened at these concerts and also give my own thoughts. One last thing before we start, I'd like to thank all of our newest channel members, Irene, Chili's Cafe, and Mello, and without further ado, let's start off by talking about what exactly happened in Chicago. So as we all know by now, Kim Lip, who is a member of LOONA, ended up walking off stage during the group's concert in Chicago, Illinois on August 11th, and it didn't end up coming back for the rest of the show. The group also held a meet and greet after the show, and Kim Lip also ended up sitting out of that too. So the question you're all probably asking by now is why? And apparently it's because of the rude way that the fans were cheering. If you don't have any context for this, it does sound a bit odd. I've seen a lot of outside people ask why she was upset if the fans were just cheering because that's what people are supposed to do at concerts, but there's a little bit more to the story here. What you really need to know for all of this to make sense is that in between a lot of their songs, LOONA would take intermissions in order to talk to the fans. After they're done with a number, the lights would go down, but then they'd come up and the members would be like standing in a line, and they would essentially take turns going down the line where each member would say a few sentences to the audience. So this was basically a way for all 11 of them, 12 if Chu was there, to like speak their mind and share their thanks to the fans. Based just around my verbal description of this process, it seems like it would be something that would go by really smoothly. But unfortunately, this is where the rude cheering came into play. From my experience in San Francisco, what happened was that after each member finished saying whatever they wanted to say, people would briefly cheer for whoever had just spoken and then quiet down so the next member could talk. At least, that's how it went at first until things started to get chaotic. In San Francisco, what eventually ended up happening is that the cheers after each member spoke would get a little bit too crazy and would continue on even when the next member started to speak, so no one could really hear what they were trying to say. And a few times it got so crazy that some of the members even had to directly shush the audience so that they could get their words out properly. I distinctly remember Kim Lip shushing us at least once, but I think it might have happened 2 or even 3 times in San Francisco, and as the concert went on, the disrespectful cheering just got worse and worse. It got to the point where people started shouting the most random things even while the members were speaking, and they were shouting just as loud, if not louder than the speakers, so they were literally interrupting them. I remember being so distracted by all the shouting going on that I couldn't even pay attention to what the members were saying because I genuinely could not hear them. And that was exactly what was happening in Chicago too. I don't think I can share the clip because a lot of concert venues have rules where you can't share any videos that you took inside of the concert hall, and I don't want to get in trouble with anything like that. So instead I'll just describe what happened. Basically, they were in one of their intermissions and it was Kim Lip's turn to say whatever she wanted to say, and the crowd in Chicago started chanting VIVIZ's name. VIVI is another member of the group, by the way. They started shouting her name while Kim Lip was talking. Not even Kim Lip's own name, they started shouting the name of a different member of the group while Kim Lip was talking, which I feel like if you had any common sense, you would know that it's not okay to shout someone else's name while someone's talking. And while that was happening, Vivi actually interrupted the crowd and she said, "Guys, it's Kim Lip's turn." But it seems like at that point Kim Lip was already pretty upset, and after the crowd let her finish her little spiel, I'm not sure, but it looked like she might have even been crying on stage, and a little bit after that she ended up leaving the stage and didn't come back for the rest of the concert. And it's really mind-boggling and upsetting to see how these crowds have no common decency, nor do they seem to know concert etiquette. Usually if a crowd's being normal, they'll keep all the cheering to after somebody's done speaking, and they'll stop when someone else starts to talk, because that's just a way to show that you actually respect the person who's performing and you care enough to hear what they have to say. And although I'm sure that most of the people who were chanting probably didn't do it with the intention of being disrespectful, that's definitely how it comes across, because at that moment when people decide to join in on those chants that are happening, they're kind of sending the message that whatever they're trying to say is more important than listening to who everybody paid to see. And that just doesn't sit right with me. When you buy a concert ticket, you're paying to be part of the audience. You're not paying to be the star of the show. You know, it's not your place to try and steal the spotlight from the artist that everybody else paid to see. Everyone else gave away all of their precious money because they wanted to see Loona, not because they wanted to hear some random person in the crowd screaming and shouting. So by disrupting these concerts, these chanters are disrespecting both the artists and the other people around them, because Loona put in all that time and effort to prepare for their world tour, and everyone else in the crowd paid to see them perform. So the least that everybody in an audience can do at a concert is respect that both the audience and the artist did a lot to be there, and let the show play out how it's supposed to. Another thing I wanted to do is elaborate a little bit more on why it's disrespectful to the artists to disrupt them during the concert, because I feel like people don't really take any time to consider what goes on behind the scenes. First of all, before any concert starts, the members have to spend hours preparing and rehearsing. I'm pretty sure for the San Francisco concert, the members showed up like 5 hours in advance, and they probably didn't even get that much time to rest in those 5 hours. Before a concert starts, the members are at the very least gonna have to get their makeup done, they're gonna have to get their mics on, they're gonna have to get dressed, they're gonna have to practice on the new stage. And with 11 members performing, that's gonna be a really lengthy process, and no doubt a stressful one. I'm sure they're also excited and happy to be getting ready for another concert, but it's also an extremely busy process, and it's pretty much impossible for tensions to not be high during a time like that. As someone who's performed a lot on stage before, there's always that little part in the back of your mind that's thinking, oh no, what could go wrong? And that feeling can freak you out for an entire night. So when tensions are running high for undoubtedly a good number of the members, it's kind of the audience's job to not stress them out anymore. It's the audience's job to be courteous with those around them. It's the audience's job to bring a positive energy to the concert. And most importantly, it's the audience's job to not disrupt the show. And that really should go without saying, but I guess a lot of people don't understand that, so here we are. Like, I thought there was supposed to be a level of trust between an artist and their audience, that the audience is gonna be polite at the artist's shows. And that sort of unspoken trust is what makes an artist excited to see their fans. But now it seems like that trust is broken between Loona and Orbits. So I wouldn't really be that surprised if Loona aren't that excited to finish their tour, because now they have proof that a lot of Orbits don't seem to respect them, or at least don't know how to respect them. And I know a lot of these VIVI fans just want to appreciate VIVI and let her know that she's loved. But that leads us into our next point, where I want to ask all these VIVI stans how they think their chanting is making VIVI feel, because we should really take a moment to try and see things from her point of view. Imagine you're in a group and you and all of your group mates are super excited to go on your first world tour. You're talking with them about all of the memories that you're going to make together and how happy you are that you're going to be able to see your worldwide fans for the first time in years. But as your tour progresses, a lot of your group mates have a lot of really unpleasant experiences, and they're having a bad time because of your fans. Like, these toxic VIVI stans are chanting her name to try and make her happy, but in reality, it's more likely that they're embarrassing her, or even worse, making her feel responsible for these bad experiences that her members are going through. So it's really not fair to VIVI for her stans to be acting this way. They might say that they're cheering for her to make her happy, but I feel like in reality, they're just doing it because they're selfish, and they want their moment to be noticed by VIVI. But that's not how a concert works. When you buy a ticket, you're not buying a ticket to be noticed by them. If you wanted that, then you would have bought a meet and greet ticket. When you're there at the regular concert, you're there to enjoy the performances, and if you get noticed, then that's a privilege, not a right. And having a ticket doesn't give you the magical power to disrupt the show with no repercussions, because nowhere in the description of your purchase did it say that you have the right to disrupt the concert and make one of the members storm off crying. That's just not how it works. So for whoever's watching right now, next time you attend a K-pop concert, you as an attendee do not have the right to use whatever means necessary to get noticed by your bias. Because even if it brings personal enjoyment to you, not only are you going to make the experience worse for the people around you and the other members of the group, you're probably also going to upset your bias. And the last thing that I want to say is this: please stop acting so selfishly. It's not worth it. And that concludes this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like, and if you want to see more content from me, consider subscribing. Before I go, I'd like to thank all 43 of our channel members: Sonorinth, Opijin ITZY, Jujumin, Wu Twice Tees, Dog, Saiyan Lover, Kyukun Love, What's OP, Zeus112, Flo099, Goyangzi, Jackie, Abe, ZVH, Che, Ray, Wu Youngie, Yin Latte, Jed, Mares, Navi Slay, Soda Scribbles TikTok, Minakor, Alex Toro, WJSN Enjoyer, Exioin, 97th Heaven, Julia, Adrian Wang, Elizabeth Allinger, Shiny, Mael T, Muzu Malnarovier, Sunny, Cassie, Leonie, Frago Bobo, Kelsey, Gav, Adifa N, Irene, Chili's Cafe, and Mello. Thank you all for supporting the channel. I really genuinely do appreciate it. Thank you all again so much for watching, and without further ado, I'll see you all again next time. Peace out.